time.
It knows how to hunt. I know how to survive. Whatever did this, I can kill it.
Aloha! This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, as you know, this is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, and not all movies go to the theaters. Some are on Netflix, some are on HBO Max, although not as many in the future from what we hear from Zaslav. But I digress. I'm talking about a movie today that came out, started Friday, came out on Hulu, and in some countries Disney Plus. And that is the latest installment of the Predator franchise called Prey. And without further ado, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk. I don't recommend it. And well, Prey, the latest installment of the Predator franchise, kind of going back to the basics, the bare bone basics, from that awful Predator movie we just got a few years back at the theater, which is probably why 20th Century Studios, aka Disney, went ahead and decided to release this on Hulu, fearing that people still would not probably go see it due to the fact of that awful taste of that other Predator movie still being in their mouth. But for Prey on Hulu, it is a shock a thumbs up. Woo! What can I say about this movie? This movie goes back to the bare bones basics, a la the Arnold Schwarzenegger, pretty much one individual versus the Predator, using basically just their wiles and guile to help them, succeed against on what would seem to be an unbeatable foe, an alien predator hunting, animals, humans, looking for the toughest that he can find just for sport here on the earth. And to add insult to injury, or a new level of complications to this franchise of the Predator shows, the movie Prey takes place in the year 1719. Now, we've known all the way from Predator 2 with Danny Glover that the Predators have had a history of, visiting planet Earth throughout the various decades of civilization here on planet Earth. Danny Glover famously getting a flintlock revolver, well, not really a revolver, but a flintlock pistol at the end of Predator 2 for defeating the Predator that he had come into contact with. And, well, so now we get to see some of those early conflicts, those early clashes throughout human history. And this involves a hunting party of Comanches living pretty much in peace on the plains somewhere in the North America in the year of 1719. What is that, the 16th century? 16th century? Oh, maybe the 18th century, I guess. Because it's like the 21st century and the 20th century. Oh, it's one behind for the century. So we're in the 21st century now, in the year 2022. So they are in the 16th century in 1719, Northern America. This band of Comanche warriors, centering mainly around two characters, a brother and sister, the main stars of the show, Amber Mid-Thunder and Dakota Beavers, face off against the Predator, Dane, played by Dane DeLong. Dane DeLongo, I believe, is his name. And all of them do a fabulous job, set beautifully, cinematically against, the forest and plains of remote places of America. Basically at first they find, some of their hunting parties, some of the warriors are missing, and strange tracks. Some of the party believes it to be a mountain lion, others believe it to be a bear, but only one person, played by Amber Mid-Thunder, determines that this is something that she has never seen before, being a very serious tracker in her own right, probably the best tracker in the party of these Comanche warriors. And having never seen these, she decides that when the party does bring down a mountain lion, believing their people to be safe from this terror that's been preying on their people, she goes out on her own to get the true culprit, discovering as she comes across a bear, I think it's a grizzly that she comes across, and barely escaping that, the predator itself takes on the bear, and we see, much to her shock and surprise, an invisible entity just going hand to hand with this bear and trouncing it, beyond humanly what could be comprehended as possible. And you are only left to ponder what could be going through her mind, what Indian, Native American spirits or legends that she is thinking of, what this creature could be. But she knows, along with her party of the other Comanche warriors, that if it bleeds, then yes, they can kill it. And thus, with that nod to Arnold Schwarzenegger's first Predator movie, they seek to take down this predator. Unfortunately, they're stuck with bows and arrows and tomahawks against advanced predator weaponry. But being hundreds of years earlier than when we first see the Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he does not have lasers, but still, technology far, far above and advanced than what the Comanche nations, or even some of these settlers, as even the Predator runs across, and these Comanches run across what would seem to be French fur trading team out to, get wild bison furs, etc., beaver furs. And we discovered that even they are set out to hunt and find this predator, this creature, having discovered its tracks along with the Comanches. Do they team up? No. In classic historical fashion, they capture the Comanches and basically use them as bait to try to lure in and trap and catch this predator, knowing this creature They don't know what it is. They don't know it's the predator, but they try to catch the predator alive. Big mistake on their part. Not that trying to take it dead either would have worked out any better for them, I don't think. But you know, they're fur trappers. You know, they get the big game, and they know that whatever this creature is, if they can take it, it's going to be worth a lot of money. Well, the predator has different ideas and destroys them. And in the midst of that, the remaining Comanche, the brother and sister, Mid-Thunder, Amber Mid-Thunder, and Dakota Beavers escape and are able to rearm themselves as this fur party is decimated, and the predator thus turns their eyes towards them. Unfortunately, spoilers, it basically comes down after the predator kills her brother, but in doing so, she's able to formulate a plan, very much like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's that line that if you want to kill a god, you must use the weapons of a god. And she is able, very much like Danny Glover's character from Predator 2, to turn the Predator's weapons back among itself, knowing that, you know, hey, you know, our weapons are hurting it, they can make it bleed, but it's not enough to bring them down. Not even the flintlocks, rifles and pistols of the fur traders are enough. So she says we have to use the weapons of this creature, of the predator itself. That would probably be strong enough to bring it down. And she turns the tables on the predator, very much like Danny Glover, using its own weapons against itself. And that's the only spoilers that I will give for this movie. Again, a strong Shaka thumbs up. Very, very close and intimate, action-packed story. Very much, again, kind of a thriller like the first Predator, as our heroes are, you know, struck with trying to figure out what they are dealing with, how to deal with it, and oh my God, it's coming after. So yes, a strong Shaka thumbs up for this movie. This does the Predator franchise right, and certainly takes away that awful memory of that you know, Sean Black movie that came out a couple of years ago. This is a must-see on Hulu. I think they could have put it out in theaters, but again, Disney 20th Century Studios was probably afraid it wouldn't do very well, basically because of that Sean Black movie still being too much in the memory. But if you can see this movie, if you have Hulu, you know, I think if Disney can release it on video on demand in addition to Hulu, people will watch it, people will see it, they will make more money on it, and it definitely starts people wanting to go see much, much more Predator movies in the future if they stay along these basic lines as the bare bones of the initial Predator. And as a spoiler, there is a little bit of an end credit scene, so make sure you watch the credits, as there is a little animated kind of what looks like, you know, the tribe scrolling paintings of these Comanches, as we see, you know, she returns alive, surviving her onslaught against the Predators, and with the pistol that we see is given to Danny Glover's character in Predators 2. She has that pistol. It came from one of the fur traders, and she uses it against the Predator, along with many, many other things. But so that right there is a little sneak peek of somehow that pistol makes it to the future into Danny Glover's hands as a reward for defeating a Predator. And we see in the animated end scrolling of the credits, the Predator ship coming back for this Predator begins to encircle and come down towards their tribe. So who knows, perhaps this woman, this Comanche warrior that is able to defeat the Predator, you know, she gives the pistol to these other Predators that later ends up in the hands of Danny Glover at the end of Predator 2. Perhaps they take her to learn and teach her even greater hunting skills. Who knows? But definitely setting up things for a future sequel in this Predator slash Prey new genre of the Predators. Again, a strong Shaka thumbs up. Go ahead and catch this movie however you can. It is streaming on Hulu and will stay there for who knows how long, but hopefully it makes its way to other avenues, other streaming services, video on demand. You know, hopefully, I don't know if Disney would allow that, but it needs to get out for the greater public to see, so that, you know, like Amber Midthunder's character, this new Predator genre franchise of movies can continue on and thrive. All right, mahalo and aloha.